Welcome to day 3 of the week of Ultra Magnuses. So here's a weird little fun fact. I've never seen anyone review this figure before. I don't mean I've never watched a review of it. I usually don't watch reviews of stuff I've yet to get, as I don't like to influence my opinions before I've had the chance to experience the figure for myself. No, I mean that I've never even seen the thumbnail for a review of this figure. As far as I can tell, no one talks about this thing. The most I've ever seen of it are some people mentioning it in passing and expressing some level of disappointment in it during other videos. So, let's see if I decide that this figure deserves to be ignored. It's Masterpiece Ultra Magnus. Okay, first off, yes, I know it's a knockoff. I've said it before, and I'll say it again, there is nothing wrong with buying a knockoff when the official figure isn't available anymore. This is MP22, and we're on like, what, MP50 now? This thing is so far out of print you can probably dig it up next to dinosaur bones. I could buy an official version of this figure off eBay for like $400 and still not have Hasbro or Takara see a dime of that because it's an eBay seller, or I can buy a continued production KO for like $80 and have exactly as much of my money go to Hasbro. Secondly, holy crap, this thing is big! Are they supposed to be this big, or did I accidentally buy an oversized KO? This thing is absolutely maxing out my lightbox. I can't even fit this thing on the turntable I'd normally use to show off the figure from all directions because he'd literally have to tear through the ceiling because two objects cannot reside in the same place at the same time. But looking at these pictures of him next to the MP10 Optimus Prime, and yeah, that's how big he's supposed to be. Correct me if I'm wrong, but he wasn't intended to be a giant in the series. So just goddamn this thing is big, and goddamn this thing looks good. Why are the Transformers knockoffs so high quality? Have you ever heard the saying that you can get 80% of the quality for 20% of the cost? Well, with Transformers knockoffs, it'd be like, hey, do you want 99% of the quality for 1/3 the price? It's got all the paint, it's all well applied, it's got all the accessories, they're all well made, it's got all the built-in gimmicks, they're all well done, and the plastic is perfect. I've had official masterpieces that felt worse in the hand than this. Just about the only thing this is missing is the auto badge on his shoulder for some weird reason. Like, were the guys who were already knocking off the mold really worried about knocking off the branding too? Here's a question, why does he have a chest window? He didn't have one in the movie, or the show, and the one in the original toy was yellow. Or maybe that's just what it looks like now, and it was clear back in the 80s. The windows can open up in a way very reminiscent of the 86 movie, though it is much more narrow in his chest than it was in the film, and there is no way he is reaching past those doors to shove the Matrix in twice for some reason. Was that bit of the movie where it just wasn't sitting perfectly so he had to adjust it what prompted Minimus Ambus's obsessive-compulsive nature? The internal sculpt is way off, but it's a really fun and satisfying gimmick nonetheless. I do love fiddling with this feature. If I have to make a criticism of this from the front, I'll say that his wrist bracers are too fat. They look puffy, they get in the way, and they make his arms look shorter than they are. His rocket pods are looking real solid, and the missiles come out. They look like they might have been intended to be spring-loaded, but they are totally not. Can't tell if it's an abandoned feature or something that was cut out by the KOers, but the kid in me is dying for these to be fireable. So from the front here, he's looking great. From the side, less great. This is not this kibble's good angle. It appears both bigger from this direction, as well as gappier and uglier, but perhaps more important is those legs. Man, he is rocking some honking clown shoes. From the knee down, his legs are bigger than his torso. I know Ultra Magnus always had some big shins, but these are on a different level. They do make up a very large part of his transformation, but they could have been like 20 to 30% less huge, and the transformation wouldn't have to change. These legs are far from a deal breaker, but I am forced to ask what was stopping them from doing it better. Flip him around, and I'd say from behind, he's honestly looking better than he is from the side. Yes, you got a stronger angle on the kibble, but it looks more intentional from here. It doesn't really lock in though, and I can't say for sure if that's the fault of this being a knockoff, or if on the original these tabs just didn't want to hold it all. Head sculpt though is, It's obvious who this is supposed to be, but this is the masterpiece. It shouldn't be obvious who it's supposed to be, it should just be them. And this is just too soft. It's weak. Magnus's head was a bit more gaunt than this, a fair bit more angular, and slimmer. This feels flabby and again, puffy. Honestly, a lot of this figure feels like it was run through the Dreamwave filter. And his aviators just don't pop. They aren't harsh enough. He comes with extra faces where the eyes are bugged out of his head for some reason, and I don't know if that's for toy loyalty or to somehow hopefully give him his sunglasses, but they just don't work that way. It's just a set of uglier heads he comes with, and before I accidentally transition into accessories, let me just sum up by saying that this is a really, really good rendition of his robot mode. It looks fantastic. Very, very, very much like him. Definitely the most of any figure I own, but not as much as I'd want considering it's the masterpiece. It really boils down to certain features being too puffy, the shins being too big, and the head is off. Outside of that, I was honestly kind of flabbergasted when I got this out of the box because of how good this thing looks. Anyways, let's actually get into accessories. Ultra Magnus comes with more than a few things. For starters, he comes with 3 extra heads as I alluded to earlier, one with a different expression, and a pair with alternate eyes and the same expressions as the other 2. At first, I thought I lost these because I remember them coming with a full helmet, but no, it's just the faces. One cool thing is that when you go to do the head swap, behind his helmet and faceplate, you get this neat little Easter egg. He looks like Bludgeon back when Bludgeon was cool before he got his lame Pretender armor. He comes with 2 fuck-off giant cannons. One's painted well, one's not. Both feel ludicrously cheap. They are incredibly hollow, and they make that concerning clack that lets you know they are made out of flat trash when you tap on them with even just your finger. The one that's not painted has a folding handle for some reason, and you can also fold out this back part? Why? The one that is painted looks like it's trying to make Prime's gun feel self-conscious. This really is just a bigger, uglier version of Prime's iconic gun. And hilariously enough, going by this picture, neither of these are the guns he's supposed to come with. This is just extra crap the KOers threw in for added value. He comes with a pair of rubber matrix holding hands. These have a huge slot cut down the knuckles so they can do the whole light our darkest hour, oops, I'm not the chosen one, and by chosen one I mean the first person who thinks to use the obvious finger grooves bit. Unfortunately, the matrix he comes with is too small for his giant mitts. I'm sure they did this to use the same tooling that they did for the normal matrix, but it looks so wrong in these hands I have to question why they bothered. I know the matrix that came with the MP10 Prime was made out of metal, but this one here is plastic. I've seen plenty of KOs with diecast either in them or as accessories, so I don't see why this would be made out of plastic if the official one wasn't, but I can't say either way for sure. What I can say is that I found no consistent pictures of his matrix. Some look like they're metal, some look like they're plastic, some are painted orange like this one, and some have black crystals like this one. Consistency? What's that? As far as I can tell, this is painted wrong, but I'm not sure, honestly. Lastly, he comes with Daniel and Spike. As far as Transformers mini-human figures go, these seem to be better ones. They don't fall apart, but they are just as much of a pain in the ass to get seated in alt mode as anything that comes with any other figure. Posing on this guy is real, not even substandard, just bad. Head's got okay range, shoulders only go out to here, and there is no tricking them for more. He's got backwards butterfly and monstrous but very ugly forward butterfly. Elbows bend slightly less than a 90 and are located very high on the arm. You can untransform the wrist kibble to get an actual 90, but yeah, that's not really an actual option. Shoulder cannons are a bit more free range than you might expect though, and the wrists have more range than normal, but the fingers are super limited. It's really just trigger finger and the other three. On other figures with similar hands, the pointer finger would have had a middle hinge, but this doesn't. No waist, none at all, extremely limited forward on the thighs, extremely limited sideways too. Knees don't even get near a 90. You can untransform this bit to get close, but again, that's not really a serious option. You can fake a toe tilt, and he does have ankle rockers, but yeah, this guy is falling flat on his face in this department. It's a good thing he looks so good just standing there, because if he has to do anything else, you realize he is borderline a brick. Going from extreme low to an extreme high, this guy's transformation rocks. It's really fun. It's fast, it's intuitive, I managed to figure it out the first time in like 5 minutes, and as I write this, I have no idea how I'm going to fucking do this on camera, because he's already blowing up my light box, and the alt mode makes the robot look small. This thing has got to be one of the biggest alt modes of all time. It's one of the few figures that successfully pulls off mass shifting, and it was already huge. Once again, he does the Ultra Magnus standby of falling out of his shins and letting those do a huge part of becoming the alt mode, and you wind up with this absolute beast. Credit where credit's due, this thing is absolutely flawless looking. It couldn't be more his alt mode. Every important trait is there, from the red bumper to the missile pods that are on the sides and sometimes the front as well, to the long ramps up top. It's also a fully functional car carrier as well, allowing you to load up at least 4 of the smaller Masterpiece cars. And the cab section can detach. Both segments can roll like a dream too, either together or apart. Like I said earlier, you can fit both Daniel and Spike in the cab right here, but I'm not going to show you that because it's a pain in the ass to get them seated in there when I don't have a camera in the way. With it in the way, I assume it's going to be just about impossible. Ultimately, this is as fully featured and as quality as you could hope for. It's even got working windshield wipers. The cab section on its own feels kind of light and chintzy, because all of the heavier plastics and diecast are back here, but I still don't think the front is cheaply made considering it's all chrome, it has actual rubber wheels, and working windshield wipers. So yeah, I'd say that despite the terrible posing, this is a fantastic figure. $279 seems a bit steep, but at $200, I can really see that price. And it's even better at the $80 I paid for the KO. I don't know that I can recommend that you get this one way or the other though. If you don't support knockoffs, I get it. And if the posing is a deal breaker, I get it. And if you want to get the official but don't want to pay the inflated eBay prices, I get it. I suppose this review is only for you if you are already eyeing this but are on the fence about buying it. So just know that the posability is bad. Terrible even. But the look of both modes is fantastic, the transformation is tons of fun, and the alt mode is what most others strive for and fail to be. Personally, I'm loving this thing, but I get how it's not going to be for everyone. And that's not half of what I have to say, but it's enough of what I have to say. And I know you know what everyone else tells you to do at the end of these videos. So if you liked what you saw here, please do that. And if you'd like to take it a step further, then please share this video with any friend you think may be interested. I hope you'll enjoy listening to me waste your time.